Retelling the story of one of the most iconic characters in literature and film seems, at this point, almost impossible. Since Boris Karloff's legendary interpretation in the 1930s, Frankenstein has become a myth so ingrained in popular culture that any attempt to reinvent it risks being crushed under its own legacy. But Guillermo del Toro dared to do it and achieved something very few directors can: honor the original material while keeping his unmistakable artistic voice. In this video, we're diving deep into his new version of Frankenstein, a film that stays true to the essence of Mary Shelley's characters, while adding the brutality, humanity, and even the dark humor that define the Mexican filmmaker's work. A film that isn't just about the creation of life, it's about loneliness, guilt, and the unbearable weight of rejection. Del Toro opens the film with a spectacular sequence: a ship trapped in the Arctic, battling a raging storm. There, a group of sailors rescue a dying man, Victor Frankenstein, played by Oscar Isaac, who begins to recount the events that led him to that frozen wasteland. From the very start, it's clear that this isn't just a horror story, but a deeply human tragedy. We see Victor's past: a controlling father who trained him in medicine and surgery, and the early death of his mother, a trauma that fuels his obsession with defeating death itself. As an adult, Victor's fascination with reanimation draws the attention of Henrik Harlander, a weapons dealer portrayed by Christoph Waltz, who offers him funding and support. Harlander represents the darker side of progress: power, war, and the corruption of science through ambition. Through him, Victor's genius becomes a weapon. And in this dangerous game, there's Elizabeth, played by Mia Goth, William's fiancée and Victor's intellectual equal. She's the voice of conscience, reason, and empathy in a world driven by pride and madness. The creation sequence is nothing short of breathtaking. Del Toro transforms Frankenstein's laboratory into a cathedral of obsession. Every gear, every spark, every limb that twitches is a work of art. The production design reaches an astonishing level of detail, rivaling the craftsmanship of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. There's a tactile quality here, the sense that everything was built, not generated. The props, the lighting, the mechanical devices, all feel tangible, alive. Del Toro merges the gothic atmosphere of classic Hollywood with the emotional intimacy of modern storytelling. It's expressionism reborn. The darkness isn't just visual, it's psychological. And then it happens. The moment the creature opens its eyes, Frankenstein has conquered death, but Del Toro reminds us that what he really created was a mirror of himself. The horror isn't the monster, it's recognition. This film also stands as a love letter to cinema itself. Every frame feels handcrafted, every shadow carefully painted. The sets, from the towering halls of the castle to the cold laboratory, are built on a scale rarely seen today. Del Toro's use of wide-angle lenses distorts perspective, making each space feel both massive and suffocating. His tracking shots, precise and fluid, pull us inside the nightmare. Unfortunately, because of the ongoing conflict between Netflix and major theater chains, very few audiences will get to experience this film on the big screen, which is a real loss. Frankenstein was made to be seen in a dark theater, surrounded by the sound and weight of its imagery. Halfway through, the story shifts perspective. Now, it's the creature who speaks, and this is where the film truly comes alive. Jacob Elordi's performance as the monster is extraordinary. He plays a being who is both terrifying and innocent, a man born from death who must learn what it means to exist. Beneath the layers of makeup, Elordi's eyes shine with confusion, sadness, and a quiet longing for connection. Del Toro restores Mary Shelley's original vision, a creature who is articulate, intelligent, even philosophical, not the mute brute we've seen in older adaptations. This version can think, feel, and love, but the world refuses to see him as anything more than a monster. The creature finds refuge in a rural community where a blind old man takes him in, teaching him to speak and understand kindness. For the first time, he experiences compassion, but the peace doesn't last. The villagers, unable to accept what they can't comprehend, turn violent. Del Toro films one of the most visceral and shocking sequences of his career, not because of the gore itself, but because of its sound and emotional weight. Every bone snap, every scream becomes a symphony of suffering. The violence is not gratuitous. It's a metaphor. The monster doesn't kill out of evil. He kills out of despair. In this moment, Del Toro reminds us that true monstrosity lies in the cruelty of the world, not in the creature's existence. After surviving, the creature seeks his creator once more. On the eve of Elizabeth and William's wedding, tragedy strikes. A confrontation between Victor and his creation ends with Elizabeth's death. Del Toro stages this with the power of Greek tragedy. Victor's pursuit of the creature through the icy wastelands is not just revenge. It's a desperate attempt to destroy the part of himself he can no longer face. The structure comes full circle. The ship at the beginning was the end all along. It's elegant, poetic storytelling, the hallmark of a master. Beyond the narrative, Frankenstein is a film about creation, responsibility, and moral consequence. Del Toro asks the eternal question, what happens when the creator cannot love what he creates? From Pan's Labyrinth to The Shape of Water, Del Toro has always stood with the outcasts, the misunderstood, the monsters. Here, that empathy reaches its purest form. The creature isn't evil. He's the unwanted child, the mirror of human failure, the embodiment of loneliness. Oscar Isaac delivers a brilliant performance as a man consumed by guilt and pride. His Frankenstein isn't mad. He's broken. Every scene with Elordi feels like two halves of a single soul confronting each other, the rational mind and the suffering heart. Unlike Shelley's tragic ending, Del Toro chooses reconciliation. In the film's final act, creator and creation face each other one last time. There's no more hatred, only exhaustion and understanding. The creature carries Victor's body, mourning him not as an enemy, but as a father. And then he walks into the frozen horizon, not to die, but to continue. This final image isn't despair, it's redemption. Del Toro's modern Prometheus finds humanity in acceptance. It's a profoundly humanist ending, consistent with his entire body of work. Beauty exists in imperfection, and love can emerge even from decay. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein isn't just another adaptation, it's a reinvention. Poetic, brutal, and deeply emotional. Visually staggering, thematically rich, and narratively daring. Every frame pulses with the passion of a filmmaker who finds beauty in monsters and truth in tragedy. It's not just a film, it's a meditation on creation, empathy, and what it means to be human. A love letter to all who have ever felt different, broken, or unloved. What did you think of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein? Did it surpass the classic adaptations? Let me know in the comments.